Today, we are here to interview the people that were involved and part of the Lincoln assassination to get their inside view on what happened. First off, I have John Frederick Parker, Lincoln's bodyguard. Hello.
Hi.
What was your purpose at the play, Our American Cousin?
I was supposed to be guarding President Lincoln's private box.
Supposed to? What, were you not doing your job?
Well, he told me he didn't need me in the box that night.
So you were supposed to be outside the box guarding?
Yeah, but I wasn't.
So since you weren't doing your job, Lincoln got killed.
Correct. Lincoln died because of my irresponsibility.
Thank you. Up next, we have Mary Lincoln. Hello, Mary.
Hi.
So, you were at the play with Lincoln that night, correct?
Yes.
Is this the dress you were wearing that night?
Yes.
Why is there blood on it?
When he was shot, his blood spattered everywhere.
Do you know who shot him?
No, I didn't know the man.
What did you do when you realized he'd been shot?
I screamed and went to grab him. He was falling forward.
Do you remember what happened next?
A man, the one who shot him, jumped out of the box and onto the stage. He yelled something.
After that, did anyone come up to the box?
Yes, Dr. Charles Wheel.
Why did he come up?
He's a doctor, and he heard the shot and my scream. He put two and two together.
Then what did you do?
I helped carry him across the street to the house for him to be treated.
Tell me about what happened while you were there at that house.
Well, after they got him inside, they put him on a bed. Then another doctor took over, and they said that he couldn't be saved. That he was going to be dead.
It's all right. Keep going. What happened next?
The vice president and a lot of his cabinet members stood by until they officially pronounced him dead at 7:22 in the morning.
How did you feel at that time?
I was in utter shock and grief. I had to lay in a bed in the adjoining room with my son Robert.
When the surgeons conducted the autopsy, what did you have them do?
I had them cut a lock of his hair for me to keep.
I see. I'm sorry for your loss, ma'am. Next, we have Henry Rathbone and Clara Harris. Hello? You two were in the box that night, on the night that Lincoln was assassinated. Correct?
Correct.
Yes.
What play were you watching at the time?
American Cousin.
At what part was Lincoln shot, and about what time was that?
It was the funniest part in the play so far. The time was about 10:15 p.m.
Everyone was laughing, and it muffled the gunshot.
Then what happened?
Mary screamed.
She screamed, and we realized what had happened.
What did you do at that time, Henry?
What anyone would do. I lunged at the assassin.
Wow.
I lunged at the assassin, trying to attack him. He attacked me and dropped his gun and pulled out a knife and stabbed me in the left forearm.
I see. What did the assassin do next?
He jumped from the box onto the stage and screamed. Honey, what did he scream?
Sic semper tyrannis?
Do you know what that means?
I think it means thus always to tyrants.
Thank you. Next, we have the one and only President Lincoln. Hello, Lincoln.
Hello.
Who are you with the night of your assassination?
My wife Mary and Henry Rathbone and his fiancée Clara Harris.
Was there anyone else nearby or who was supposed to be there?
My bodyguard John Frederick Parker was meant to be in the box with me.
And why wasn't he in the box?
I told him I didn't need him in the box that night. I said he could stand outside it.
And did he?
No, I believe he went to the bar across the street.
So no one was guarding you.
No,
Did you suspect that anyone was trying to harm you?
I did not.
What theater were you at? Where was it?
I was at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C.
What play were you watching at the time?
Our American Cousin. It's a comedy.
What was the atmosphere in the theater at the time you were shocked?
People were laughing. It was a funny part in the play. Even I laughed a little.
Then what happened? Do you remember?
A sound, and then a black voice. A scream from my wife, and her arms around me. Air struggled to reach my lungs.
Do you remember anything else?
Then a lot of arms. They carried me out to a house across the street. A doctor came. I don't know him, but I remember his words saying I wouldn't live. For a long while I just lay in agonizing, paralyzed pain. I finally died in the morning listening to the muffled cries of my son and wife in the other room. A lot of my cabinet members stood by along with the vice president.
I see. I'm sorry, President Lincoln. Thank you. Next, we have the man who did it all, John Wilkes Booth. Hello.
Hi.
You weren't originally planning to kill Lincoln, were you?
No, I wasn't.
What was your original plan?
To kidnap him on March 20th,
And why didn't you follow through with this plan?
because he wasn't where we planned him. And he wasn't where we wanted him to be, and we couldn't kidnap him.
So, you drastically revised your plan.
Yeah.
What was your new plan?
Well, I heard he was going to Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., watching Our American Cousin. So my associates and I planned to assassinate the president, the vice president, and the secretary of state, so there would be no successors. The way that the government would go into total disarray. My associates chickened out, and I was the only one who did my job. Idiots.
So, how did you kill him? Exactly what did you do?
Because Lincoln's bodyguard is stupid, I was able to easily access his private box. Once I saw the bodyguard leave his spot, I went and waited outside the box. I know Our American Cousin almost by heart, so when it came to the part where I knew the crowd would laugh loudly, I got myself ready. When the crowd began to laugh, I aimed my .44 caliber single-shot Derringer at the back of Lincoln's head and shot. Then I proceeded to jump out of the box onto the stage and shout, "Sic semper tyrannis."
Why did you do all of this?
I was attempting to save the Confederacy because their armies were failing miserably.
How would you save them by doing this, by killing the president?
Well, I was hoping it would throw the U.S. government into despair by getting rid of the president and all possible successors.
What happened after you jumped onto the stage?
I broke my leg, but successfully fled the Capitol with my associate, Dave Harold.
Where were you headed when you fled?
Southern Maryland.
Where did you get your leg fixed, and who fixed it?
Dr. Samuel Mudd fixed me up real good.
Who else, if anyone, helped you? What did they do for you?
The Confederate agent Thomas A. Jones helped hide us before we got a boat to hide across the Potomac River to Virginia.
When and who found you? What did they do?
On April 26th, Union troops found me and my buddy David. They surrounded our hideout, making it impossible to escape. Then they set fire to our hideout. David was a baby, and he surrendered quickly. I stayed inside. Then some idiot shot me in the neck, saying I raised a gun. Then he carried me out of the house.
What were your last words and actions?
I looked at my hand and muttered, "Useless. Useless."
Thank you. Up next, we have Dr. Charles Leal. Hello, Doctor.
Hello.
How are you connected to Lincoln?
When I heard Mary's screams, I realized a shot-like sound before it was indeed a gunshot.
So what did you do after you heard it?
I went up to the box to see if I can do anything to help, since I am a doctor.
Were you able to do anything?
All I did was find him a chair his chair, struggled and paralyzed, and struggled to breathe. Then some people arrived and carried him away.
Thank you. Next, we have David Harold, Booth's associate. Hello, David.
Hello.
You are John Wilkes Booth associate, right?
Correct.
What exactly did you do to help him? You chickened out on your assassination duty, so what did you even do?
Well, I helped him escape and hide.
That's all you did? What kind of associate are you?
A scared one, I guess.
So really it was all Booth. He did everything.
Yes, he was the mastermind.
And when Union people burned that house, you chickened out and surrendered while he stayed inside a burning house.
Yes, I didn't want to be burned alive.
I see. Thank you. Next, we have Samuel Mudd, Dr. Samuel Mudd. Hello, doctor. So, you are the doctor that helped the assassin John Wilkes Booth, aren't you?
Yes, but...
You fixed his leg so he could go on, right?
Well, yeah, but I had no idea he was on the run.
Don't lie. You knew he needed help so he could keep running away.
I swear I had no idea.
You are an accomplice for helping a felon. No, you are.
I've done nothing wrong.
Thank you. Lastly, we have Thomas A. Jones, the man that hid John Wilkes Booth. Do you realize that hiding an assassin and his accomplice is a felony?
Well, I didn't realize that having a friend at your house was a felony.
It's not, but hiding a murderer from the government is.
I did no such thing. He was at my home for a little bit. I didn't hide him or help him.
Giving him a place to stay while he arranges for transportation somewhere else is helping and hiding.
Well,
That's right, you're going away for a while. You did commit a felony.
I guess.
Lastly, we have a simple person from the crowd. You attended our American cousin the night that President Lincoln was assassinated, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember what happened when he was shot?
The crowd was laughing.
I see. And do you remember hearing a gunshot?
No. There's too much laughter.
Then what happened? Did someone jump onto the stage?
Yes, John Wilkes Booth.
Do you remember what he screamed, or did he scream anything?
Yes. I remember the last part, Tyrannus.
Ah, I see. Do you know what that means?
I'm sorry, no.
Thank you. You've been a help. And that's the inside story of what happened of the assassination of President Lincoln.